What's up, guys? Welcome back to Forensic Friday, where I tell you one true crime case that was solved using forensic science, all while doing, that's right, my makeup. Today's video will be featuring the new Star Wars and Colourpop Mandalorian palette. I'm a huge die-hard Star Wars fan. I mean, like an OG Star Wars fan. Oh my god, I cannot wait to play in this sucker. All of the other products I'm using in this video will be linked in the description below. Before we get started, please read the disclaimer. I am in no way, shape, or form a makeup artist, MUA, professional makeup beauty guru, anything of the sorts. I'm just the average girl at home like you, playing in makeup and talking about true crime. If you love true crime and makeup, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future episodes. At the beginning of the fall semester in 1995, 23-year-old Tina Bigger, a psychology major, was getting ready to enter her senior year at Oakland University. Her friends and family would describe her as very hardworking and vivacious. She always tried to do her best. She was a little bit of an overachiever when it came to like school and homework and getting jobs and things like that. Tina Bigger was pretty much the all-around American girl. She came from a military family. Her father was a Coast Guard commander and her mother was like a Coast Guard nurse. And she was really loved by all of her peers, her classmates, her family members, her friends, her co-workers. Everyone seemed to really like Tina. Tina worked her way through school as a waitress at the Rochester Chop House restaurant. She lived with her boyfriend Todd Nornberger in an upscale apartment complex near her school. Now, Todd Nornberger was a student at the University of Michigan, and he and Tina had an on-again, off-again relationship. And friends say that they weren't really sure whether it would work out between the two of them because they were always so on again, off again. And they also said that Tina had a side to her that a lot of people didn't know about, that she didn't show a lot of people. She could be very distrustful. She could be very vengeful at times and get really angry about things. So that was a side that not a lot of people saw about Tina because she didn't normally display those qualities in front of those people. But she did do it amongst like boyfriends and friends who like crossed her. Tina had a little bit of a temper at times. She would just get really angry. That's not funny. I don't know why I laughed. I mean, we're all a little crazy sometimes. Let's just be honest. I'm being honest at least. Oh my god, I love this foundation. Why do I not? Okay, that's it. This is the only foundation. I'm going back to it. Now, Tina was conducting a research project for school entitled A Survey of Sexual History and Practices Amongst High-End Escorts and Prostitutes. Tina wanted to find out if lower-end prostitutes had the same knowledge about sexually transmitted disease such as AIDS as higher-end call girls. Tina decided to do her own study. She thought that it would help her get into a better graduate school. On August 23rd, 1995, Todd left for work. He claims that Tina was still asleep when he left. But when he returned home that night, Tina was gone. He immediately phoned police. Most missing persons reports, it can be cleared up within a couple of hours by just calling like family members and friends, especially when it's an adult. Police thought that from the start that this case was different. Tina's car was missing, but none of her things were missing. Her purse, her clothing, everything was still inside of the apartment. None of her friends or family members had seen or heard from her. Also, police found out that Tina was actually planning on moving out into her own apartment. The fact that Tina was planning to get her own apartment and move out from Todd made police think that something was wrong there, that maybe they should take a second look at the boyfriend because why would she be planning to move out if everything was good, you know? After talking to Todd, police found out that Tina had found that Todd had been seeing another woman. Tina found a suggestive greeting card to Todd. People had said they seen them fighting at times, but they did describe Todd as very, very devoted to Tina. They had a really crazy combustible relationship, so it was hard to tell, but just were always back and forth. So he started talking to other people. You know how men are. Can't live with them, can't kill them. Or maybe you can. That he spent more time with her than anyone else. He knew Tina better than anyone else. He knew her schedule. He knew everything about Tina. So of course, he became police's prime suspect. In most cases like these, usually the husband, the boyfriend, significant other, always is the one who's done it. Despite their differences, Todd Nornberger denied any involvement in the disappearance of Tina. That night when Todd got home and he couldn't find Tina, he did call her workplace, and they told him that Tina hadn't been working there for the last 3 months, that she had actually quit a while ago. So to Todd's surprise, Tina was no longer working at the chop house. And not only that, she never told him and just continued to launder her uniform every day and wear it as though she was going to work, even though she wasn't, and she knew she wasn't. That's crazy. Like, you quit your job 4 months ago. Girl, how do you pretend like you are still working at a job that you quit 4 months ago? I think she should have majored in theater, because I think she's an amazing actress to be doing that. Seriously, you still launder your uniform and wear your uniform. She's dedicated. She's dedicated to the craft. Todd found a duffel bag hidden in the apartment that contained thigh-high stockings, some thongs, and a whole bunch of condoms. There was lingerie, there was sexual lubricant, there were receipts and credit card slips from transactions, the whole shebang. Her cover was blown. The receipts had the LA Escort Services information on them. He also found envelopes addressed to the LA Escorting Service with the name Crystal in the upper left-hand corner. Girl, Crystal. Todd called the escorting service, but the owners of the LA Escorting Service said that they didn't know anyone by the name of Tina Bigger. But they did say that Crystal was the name of one of their more popular escorts. That's the meaning of "yo girl's a hoe," right there. I know that must have hurt. Todd had now started to suspect that Tina was living a double life as a high-priced escort. Tina had decided that she was going to do this study about high-class escorts and call girls, and she started calling these escorting service asking if she could speak with, you know, the girls. Police started to theorize that after she had begun speaking with these girls, she kind of got sucked into that lifestyle a little bit. I mean, at this time she was a broke student working in a restaurant, just trying to pay her bills to get by, and here's an opportunity where she can make a lot of money really, really fast, and she had a lot of power. You know, I think she really liked that idea of having a lot of attention on her from men and having a lot of power over men. It's just a different lifestyle, you know, and it's so interesting because it's something that you normally wouldn't do, but you have like a fantasy to do it. And I think that a lot of women have these sort of fantasies of this alter ego, like ultimate sex goddess woman who have like control over all men. So I think that this kind of gave Tina a chance to live out those fantasies, and she just got sucked into the lifestyle. I mean, she started out, I think she did start out just trying to do the research paper, but the lifestyle was just so intriguing, especially in her current state of being broke. That can do a lot to you, trust me. This seemed like the best option to her. It is said that at some point Tina was making $250 per appointment. I don't know how long those appointments was lasting. Was it like a 2-hour appointment, a 1 hour? I don't know. But after initially denying it, the escorting service admitted to what Todd already knew, that Tina Bigger was working under the escort name of Crystal. Now it's time to get into the palette. I'm so excited. But anyway, back to the story. They also revealed that Tina worked for 2 other different escorting services and she had over a dozen clients. This meant more suspects to police. For obvious reasons, Tina did not want her boyfriend to find out about this. She obviously wanted to keep that a secret. Tina's boyfriend was naturally devastated when he heard this news about Tina being an escort. He even considered committing suicide, like shooting himself, but one of his friends had called him up and talked him out of it, thank God. And so he decided that, you know what, he's actually going to spend the rest of his life trying to figure out what happened to Tina. He felt that he at least owed that to her, just to find out what exactly happened. Records from the escorting company reveal that Tina had numerous requests from a man named Ken Chanchita. Their first meeting took place at the Bluebird Motel just 12 days before Tina's disappearance. Among Tina's personal items left in the apartment was a love letter from Ken. The love letter read, "Dear Tina, my heart is yours for you to keep. Your love will lift me off my feet." This boy thought he was Shakespeare or something. Get out of here. He continues to go on. "Came to me your love so willing. I know it's worth all our waiting. Signed, Love, Ken." He's writing this, mind you, to a call girl. When police searched Ken's apartment, they found some artwork with Crystal's name on it attached to Ken's refrigerator. See, this is when I start being like, he did it. A local dealer said that Tina was with Ken one day looking at new cars together. They said that Ken had offered to loan her the money for the car. Ken Chanchita was a 42-year-old ex-convict. He had a history of passing bad checks, forgery, fraud, embezzlement, you freaking name it, he had it. It was all petty theft kind of, but he was definitely not the wealthy businessman he had portrayed to Tina. He was like a loner, a drifter kind of guy, someone who did not have their crap in order. I almost said shit, but I don't want to curse, but we're all adults here, hopefully. He had a few like jobs that he could barely hold down, and these were all like little bitty jobs, like working in a gas station or something like that. So people just really saw him as kind of pathetic, like a little weasel type guy. Ken Chanchita admitted to meeting with Tina Bigger, who he knew as Crystal from the escorting service. He claimed that he and Tina developed some sort of friendship and they stopped using the escorting service. So he started meeting with her outside of the escorting service and they had a sexual relationship and she had stopped charging him. I would have had to continue to charge his ass. I'm sorry. Money is money, baby. Like, he claimed that he had drove Tina to the airport just 1 week before to take a trip to Ohio where she was planning to service another client. A check of flight logs showed no record of a Tina Bigger on a flight to Ohio. Ken claimed that Tina left her car with him for safekeeping while she was away. When police asked to inspect the car, Ken Chanchita willingly obliged. Inside the car, police found names and addresses to more clients, along with directions to their homes. Police learned from paperwork in Tina's car that she had actually been involved with people and clients out of the country and out of the state. Although the trunk was full with a bunch of garbage and debris, a preliminary search found no evidence of foul play. Research study shows that most first-time killers dispose of their victims' bodies in places that are familiar to them. So police decided to use Cadaver Dogs to search areas near Ken Chanchita's home. They brought in a veteran cadaver dog named Kai. These cadaver dogs are trained to pick up the scent of human tissue or human remains. These dogs are trained by hiding a small amount of human remains and a small amount of animal remains. And whenever the dog brings back the human remains, it is rewarded. And when he brings back the animal remains, he is not rewarded. So it's more likely that the dog will search a lot harder for the human remains than it will for animal remains. The trooper searched with the cadaver dog Kai. They searched wooded areas surrounded around Ken Chanchita's home. They even searched a local monastery that Ken used to walk by. And although they searched hundreds of wooded acres, they found absolutely nothing. Oh shit, oh shit. Guys, I'm a little lost. I don't know where I'm going with this look. So with no evidence to hold Ken Chanchita, they released him from police custody. That was a mistake that police soon regretted. Because of all the love letters that they found from him, it was clear that Ken had some obsession with Tina. Police believe that Ken was telling Tina things like he would buy her a nice car and making her all these promises that he really couldn't keep just to keep her hanging on. And they think that Tina was kind of using him and making him think that she was into him so that she could get all these gifts. So with no new leads coming up, detectives decided to take a closer look at Tina's car again. And to their embarrassment, what they thought originally were coffee stains on the side of a mug in the car turned out to be blood stains. That is embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. Okay, so we tried. DNA tests revealed that the blood in fact belonged to Tina Bigger. The amount of blood in the trunk pointed police to the idea of murder. And since the car was in Ken Chanchita's possession the time of Tina's disappearance, he was their prime suspect. Too much glue. My fingers are stuck. But by this time, Ken Chanchita had vanished. Investigators finally got a break in the case 1 month after Tina disappeared. Ken Chanchita's brother suggested that investigators search an abandoned home that was once owned by their aunt. This house just happened to be about 10 miles away from where Tina Bigger used to live. In the backyard in the woods, police found the body of a badly decomposed young woman. Since there were no pools of blood near the body, this told forensic scientists that the murder had taken place elsewhere. I have like a clunk of freaking glue just sitting there. An analysis of dental records revealed that the body was that, in fact, of Tina Bigger. Since the decomposition started in the neck area, the coroner suspected that Tina had been strangled. Since decomposition begins in the area where there is bleeding at the time of death. Looks kind of like elfish, but what can I do? Well, what can I do? Police launched a nationwide manhunt and they found Ken Chanchita. Ken Chanchita was spotted in a rundown neighborhood in Detroit. So police moved in on him, and Ken Chanchita made like this really weak attempt to commit suicide by slitting his wrist in the restroom. I think he just didn't want to get caught. Like he didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to admit to it. He didn't want to get caught. And if anything, he was just scared of getting caught, but I don't think he had any intentions on really taking his own life. He eventually just gave himself up. After several hours of police interrogation, Ken Chanchita finally admitted that he and Tina had an argument over money that day. That Tina was really upset with him, and it escalated to the point where they got physical. They got into like a physical fight. According to him, Tina confronted him about not having the money to loan to her. And that is wow. That is wow. I'm sorry, that highlight. I'm not used to that. According to Ken, Tina fell during their struggle and hit her head and died. But the x-rays of Tina's skull actually contradicted Ken's story. According to the coroner, she did not have any fractures anywhere in her skull. Police believe that although Tina might have suffered some sort of head injury just due to the blood that they found in the trunk of the car. They don't think that is what caused her death. When Ken Chanchita was confronted with this evidence, he told police something really bizarre. He told police that Tina was just so miserable those last couple of days that he decided and made a choice to just end it and put her out of her misery. Not something you want to be telling the police, sir. And as you can imagine, when the police heard that statement, they was like, oh my God, this guy is a complete psychopath. And even in court, he stood up and he gave a whole speech and was just like, I felt so guilty, Your Honor, about Tina and how she really was just so miserable, and I just was trying to help her out by just putting an end to it for her. I knew she was really miserable. How is that a defense? Help me understand how that's a defense, please. Somebody in the comments down below. I know one of you out there can explain that to me. Tina's family did not want her double life made public, so they made a bargain with Ken Chanchita, and he accepted a plea deal for second-degree murder. Thanks to forensic science and some good police work, Ken Chanchita was sentenced to life in prison. What do you guys think about this case and my makeup look? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you like videos like these, check out my last episode. I will leave it linked on the screen right here. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of my future episodes. And I will see you guys next Friday with another Forensic Friday episode. Bye.